Hello everyone, welcome to Adobe Live. We're here today. So we've got a great schedule planned for you guys. So let's get right into showing what's coming up this week. So we already had a couple events go through today with the Photoshop Creative Challenge, with Kathleen Martin, Adobe Live Compositing with Anna McNaught, the XD Creative Challenge with Andrea Hawk. Today we have right now digital imaging, and then later on today we have the Illustrator Creative Challenge. So I'll introduce ourselves. I'm Ryan Dumlao. I'm a product manager here at Adobe on Photoshop. I'm here with Magdiel Lopez. We'll give you a little bit more of an introduction in a bit. So just want to make sure that everyone is ready to go. So I see some people joining in. Stanley from New Jersey, welcome. Some others, Marissa, Jan, great to meet everyone. Cool, so why don't we jump into, so I'm here with Magdiel, and
nice to meet you guys, hello.
Would like to talk a bit about your work, so why don't we just jump over to my screen and show your Behance page.
Yeah.
So for some reason, my Adobe ID doesn't think I'm 18, so it's not showing this photo. But we've got a lot of other really cool work on here.
That's an absolute vodka.
Okay, that's why, yeah.
So it's alcohol.
Yeah, Behance doesn't think I can drink yet.
Yeah.
So we'll go through, look at a couple of these things. Like Magdiel's got some really cool poster work where he takes like portraits of people and kind of takes them apart, and you can see some of the work here. So why don't we jump into, actually there's one on your Instagram that I really liked. I'm sure people will enjoy as well. It's this one for Kobe Bryant, so if you want to talk about this one a little bit.
Yes, I mean, nice to meet you guys. Thank you for having me, appreciate it. Yeah, this one is just a simple poster with some text and kind of like merging of two photos. I like doing that a lot. I like playing with shadows a lot too. This kind of like celestial kind of look, I enjoy a lot. I do a lot of clouds on my work. Like if you go back, you can see especially before, I have the second one there that I posted, doing like a negative space kind of deal with the clouds. And if you go back to the full picture, there you go. Yeah, with the clouds and all of that. So I enjoy doing that a lot. And for that Kobe Bryant one, was just doing that with the big letters. I think fonts and having a lot of text in the graphic right now is super trendy, and I like doing that. And something that I do with this poster day project is that I like to explore a lot of different techniques or different things that you could do. Because it's one a day, so you're forced to come up with new content all the time.
Okay.
And I enjoy doing a lot of the letters. Lately, I've been doing a lot of the generic colors like blue and what do you call that? The basic colors.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the basic color like blue and green and all of that. That is something that I've done more in the past, is doing like more gradients and stuff like that. So I wanted to stay away from that for a little bit, and I explore some of the primary colors.
Cool.
And yeah, doing a lot of the clothing in vector look I like doing as well. So this poster day thing is like it's where I get to explore different things. Primary, yeah. Some people posting it on the chat.
Thanks, chat.
I'm sorry, my first language is Spanish, so I'll do my best. If you guys don't understand, let me know, and I can repeat things.
Actually, that's a good segue. So let's talk about your background and how you got into
I was born in Cuba. And I moved to the States when I was 15. I picked up Photoshop when I was 13. And I picked that up in Cuba. There's no internet, for those who don't know. There's no internet, there's no access to a lot of things. We didn't have cable TV or anything of that nature. So what I would do is that I would grab my parents' books and I would try to duplicate them in Photoshop. So, the book covers. I would just see the book covers and I would try to duplicate them however I could. And I would take my own photos of my friends or things in the school or whatever. And that's the way I would learn Photoshop. So, and I think that's the best way because you learn it from within, You're looking for solutions to problems that come up. And that's what graphic design is solving problems that come up, You have an idea and you want to make it a reality, and it's just problem solving from there. You know, you can know the tools and you can get better at doing certain things, but at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, is solving the problems that are coming up through design, you know?
Cool.
So that's my background in learning Photoshop and all that. And then I moved to the States when I was 15, and I got my first job around that time at a music studio, and I was making a lot of album covers for artists.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so that's where I picked up design.
Cool.
And I've been working on that ever since, you know.
Yeah, so I see a lot of posters recently, and I think that's what we're going to be working on today.
Yeah, we're going to be working on making a poster from scratch. So we can do photo selection, and we can do all of those different things, fun stuff. So that's a question I get asked a lot. It's like, how do you pick the photos to begin with? And if you look at the posters, they usually have like a feeling, you know? The way I do this a lot is that whatever I'm feeling that day, whatever I come across during that week, I try to put it into the poster. And some people ask me, you know, how can you do this so quick, in an hour or 2 hours or whatever a day? And are you sacrificing making it great because of you're making it so fast, right? And the answer to that question is, it doesn't have to be that way. You can, one thing that you sacrifice when you do things fast is that you sacrifice innovation, right? Because you got to make it quick, so you go back to your brain, to the things that you already done, right? But in this case, I think the process of doing all these posters every day is the project. Does that make sense? It's not like one individual one. So I'm being innovative by doing so many, because maybe I explore something like this, and then the next day I want to do something with clouds, but it's different, so I force myself to innovate, if that makes sense.
Okay, yeah.
So, you know, you see there's a theme with the photos, the portraits. I use a lot of portraits, a lot of faces with expressions and stuff like that. And that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna pick a photo and we're gonna have fun with it. I honestly have no clue what I'm doing today, like as far as what I'm actually gonna be making.
Yeah.
We're just gonna do it together, and hopefully we have fun doing it.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah,
I see
so
some people in the chat are pretty excited as well. So some new people. I see Ryan, Nicholas. Thanks for joining.
Yes.
A couple things before we jump right into designing is some housekeeping stuff. So if you all stay online and stay chatting with us for 30 minutes, so we're gonna be doing a contest at the 30-minute mark. You can win some sticker meal prizes. As well as at the hour and a half mark, we're gonna go into reviewing some of the work from the daily creative challenge. And today's challenge is blend mode. So it's to design an invitation with overlapping elements using blend mode. So we'll go over that after about an hour and a half. But yeah, I think from this point on, we can just get started into creating a project.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And so usually I go to, there's a lot of sites now that you can get images for free. And if you don't want to do that, you can also pay. Or if you want to collaborate, the great thing about social media now is that you get to collaborate with so many people all around the world that want to collaborate with other cool people. So if you are doing a lot of effort into creating cool stuff, there's other people that want to do the effort with you. And you can just reach out to somebody that's a photographer, and they'll gladly let you use their images. Or you can go to, there's so many sites that you can visit. In this case, we're gonna be using Adobe Stock. And what I do is that I'm browsing through these images, and feel free on the chat, if you wanna recommend anything, if you see a poster that you like on my Instagram, I have them all on my Instagram. If I can pull up my Instagram real quick. Yeah, I have them all in here. So if you guys see something that you really like and you're like, oh, how do you do this? How do you do that? Let me know. A lot of the posters, the way I go at it is that I just pick a photo and I just go for it. And as I go, sometimes I get ideas. Other times, like on this case, like somebody sent me this photo on Instagram, and he told me, can we collaborate on this? I have this cool photo. I think it could work with your style. Nice. And I was like, yeah. So I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to do flowers. I wanted to do this kind of like cosmic kind of look. Use a lot of lines and flares. So I knew what I was doing right out the gate. But you don't have to do that. You can just play with it. So today we're gonna be playing with it a lot and playing with Photoshop, having fun with that. So you're gonna pick an image. For me, I wanna pick an image that has emotion, hopefully, and that has a certain look of like, something that looks natural, doesn't look too staged, too stocky, if that makes sense. And I already have some that I've picked before we got to this point.
Okay.
And I have them here in my library. Let's take a look at them real quick. I have this one right here with the sunglasses. I think it's really cool because it gives us within the image of the face, it gives us a lot of room to play with, So let's go ahead and download this one. And I think it's downloading.
We've got Gucho asking, where do you post most of your main work, your main portfolio? Whether that's Instagram, Behance, your own site?
Well, so on my site right now, I have some of the projects that I've done for other people. It's tough because you're working so much and you're making so many things every day that sometimes it's hard to find the time to post personal
to
work.
Keep that updated.
On my site, I have a work page. And in there, I have just a few of the things that I've done. Some of them include posters. There's this Japanese campaign I did for Lodge,
Nice.
a conference graphic that's it's different than what you would see on my page. InDesign 20th anniversary poster.
Nice.
Some magazine work, things like this,
Yeah.
So you can check out my page for that. You can also check Behance. And then my company's name is Belmont Creative. So belmontcreative.co is our site. And in here you can also see some work that I've directed or done myself for other people.
Wow.
So it kind of has the vibe of what I do,
Yeah.
but it's more, aimed to whatever the brand needs in the moment.
Yeah, you can still see your inspiration in there.
Yeah. So, in our team, we have a couple designers, and I do creative direction for our company mostly. Yeah.
Cool.
So cool stuff.
All right. Let's get back to the.
Let's get back to it. I'm sorry. Yeah. So on Photoshop, we're gonna set up a new document, and you can do the traditional 18 by 24 poster size, 300 dpi. So that works. So let's open that. If you have a computer that probably is slower, or if you want to, do something different so it doesn't go as slow when you're doing some of the more advanced effects, you can change it to a smaller size, keeping the same ratio of that poster. So let's go ahead and do, a 9 by 12, and let's change it to that. Something that I like to do as well, and you can see it in some of these, is doing the text on the edges of it to kind of keep a record of what number it is and all of that. Right now, I'm on number, last one I did is number 500. So we'll do number 501. And for these, I use either Gotham.
Oh, let's see if we can full screen your Photoshop so we can see everything.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay. So we'll do Gotham for this font. I like using also Helvetica as well for these, but Gotham will work perfectly. Let's make sure this is at 100. I was making something before where I stretched the font. Yeah, so it'll be 501.
Okay.
We'll go ahead and put this right here in the corner. Might be too big right now, but we'll switch it up in a second.
So this is a daily challenge you're doing, to do one every day?
Yeah, so
We're at 500 already. That's
yeah,
wow.
500. So I did a whole year straight. I didn't miss, but then I've been working so much, and it's been
life gets in there.
life, and I recently had a baby, so
Oh, congratulations.
yeah, thank you.
Wow.
So he's 1.5 now, and it's getting tougher and tougher to do it every day. But I highly encourage anybody that is looking at this to go ahead and do that, because it's definitely great for your creative.
Keeps the juices flowing.
Yeah, it definitely teaches you a lot and it helps you a lot. All right, so here's the image. First thing we want to do is that we're gonna cut it really well. I usually, to cut, I use the pen tool, And
Okay.
and then on areas like this down here that is blurry, we can later like apply the blur tool a little bit to it to give it that natural look. And that's, you know, that's what I do first. So I'm gonna go ahead and start doing that. It's gonna take a few minutes. I don't want to do it perfect because we don't need to right now.
Yeah.
For these, we're not missing any information really. If we do this, we can blur it out later. There's areas where we're gonna have to do it a little better later on, like the glasses and all of that. But over here, we can just do a general selection. And the pen tool is one of the tools that I would, and if you're starting in Photoshop or or Illustrator or anything like that, you can play with this tool. And if you get good at it, if you get, you know, really good at it, things would be so much faster and easier.
Yeah.
Here around the hair, I'm gonna do like a not really good selection. So I'm gonna do
So you can refine that later.
Yeah, I'll refine that in a second. And I might need to go back and cut over here under the glasses to do another selection there, just in case. But right now what we're gonna do is that we're gonna do the glasses really well. And
Oh, you're a pro at this tool.
Oh man.
I didn't learn to use it till maybe a year ago.
Really, yeah. I've gotten used to go really fast. And you know, like I said, I do.
And using the trackpad, which is also impressive.
on the go. So yeah, I do a lot of work every day for this, the poster challenge, and also for my personal company. And I do creative direction for a church called Fellowship Church in Dallas, Texas. And you know, we do a lot of creative stuff there as well. So I'm like having to do so many projects every day that I'm like, I've gotten better or faster at using some of the tools.
Nice.
So yeah, so over here we want to do random selection, like not, you know, we don't want to spend a lot of time doing it. I'm gonna lower the opacity here, just so we can get a better look at what's under. Over here, the neck, we're gonna do straight. Go into this, right here. And this is the boring part. Because, you know,
you get to see the precision.
You have to do.
And if you're not familiar with the pen tool, you can see, you know, how you can be a pro at it.
And an advice on the pen tool: if you don't need all these details right here, if you have the luxury to not, you know, need them, I would advise to like do what I'm doing, cut inside, because you're gonna spend less time later on refining the edges. If that makes sense. Okay. And then one thing that I like doing as well is like over here the photo is cut right here. Yeah. And I would like for the shoulder to be in the photo, right? But we don't have that information. So what I'll do is that I'll kind of imagine where it would be, right? Yeah. And then that looks about right.
That looks good.
Yeah, and then I'll give it some room back here, boom, and then do that. And then that way we have some kind of like selection going that is not perfect, but it's close enough. And then what we can do, we can copy this file right here. This.
So you duplicate the layer with just the selection.
Yeah, we can just duplicate it before, and then make the selection on the pen tool, and then we can mask that, right? Yeah. Or we can try to get the selection to look perfect. And one of the things that you can do that is like by selecting the photo, you can go to select a mask and go to the
all that hair.
Refine edges, and try to get some of the hair back. This is a way to do this that is like the most simple way and easiest way to do it. You can spend a lot of time doing hair. Yeah, hair is tricky, and you can do it through the channels. And I can talk about that in a second. Doing it through the channels. That's the more precise way to do it that I found myself, but it definitely takes more time than this. This is the easy, lazy way. So we're gonna do the easy, lazy way right now, real quick. You can even try to refine some of these if you want to get some of the texture of this jacket.
Yeah, some of the like threads and that kind of.
Yeah, but you risk it when you get to these areas because there's dark background right there, so it could like contrast with the contrast with the shirt is not as sharp. Yeah. So you can miss it right there.
Yeah, I found the Refine Edge tool, it's really fun to be able to get hair and stuff, but you have to be really good at it if you're gonna get really precise selections, especially on edges that aren't as like clear and clear cut.
And you know, there's things that we're gonna have to go back and fix. Like over here, there's a lot of pink and white. I don't expect this to pick it up that well. I'm gonna try, and we see. Sometimes we also have an image of what the actual photo looks like.
Yeah.
And that doesn't help us get things done because we wanted to get it like exactly like the photo, and it doesn't really matter because in this case it doesn't. Like if you're doing something for a client or something like that, you have to get it absolutely right. But if you're doing something for fun, you can have this kind of like, it has to look sharp, but it doesn't have to look like the original photo.
Right.
And I'm gonna explain a little more about that. So, you know, after you have that selection going, you can mask it, and that's what that looks like.
Cool.
And if you see the mask, I'm trying to.
Yeah, it looks a lot more refined.
It looks a lot more refined, but at the same time, you can tell there is things that are like off.
Yeah.
Especially if you do like a background like this. So let's do this just to.
Okay, so you just dropped a color background behind it.
Yeah, I did just to show how bad it is right now, and how we're gonna fix it.
Yeah.
But over here, like the cool thing about here is that you're getting a lot of detail, but you're getting a lot of the background as well.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go ahead and try to fix that as much as we can. Obviously, when you're doing something with a photo that had this kind of background, the best thing you can do is keep the background light.
Like a light color, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you absolutely can't, then there's things that you can. There's solutions to the problem.
Yeah, there's some options in Refine Edge like decontaminate colors, which try to pull that out. It's hit or miss, I guess, depending on the application.
One thing you can do is you can come here with the and kind of edit the mask a little bit with the brush, with the soft brush, and that would immediately help a lot.
Yeah.
One tip that I'll give you guys is that to go and change the color mode color mode to overlay.
Cover load of the blend mode of the mask?
Of the pen tool.
Pen tool, okay.
So when you change that, you'll see I'm going over it, right? But even if I go inside, it won't get.
Oh, okay.
So it'll affect the white a lot, but it won't affect a lot of the actual image. Yeah. If that makes sense. Like I'm clicking in here right now, and it's not doing anything. So that'll help you get. I won't go that aggressive because I want some of those hairs.
Oh, this is the brush tool. This is the brush.
This is the brush tool. We have it on black. We're editing the mask, and we have it on overlay.
Got it.
And I'll go a little softer here. Boom, like that.
I see we've got a really spirited discussion about print modes in the chat.
Oh, really?
Someone was asking what was the reason starting RGB versus CMYK in terms of printing.
I just like the colors more, to be honest. Obviously, if you're doing, this depends on what you're doing. If you're doing something for print and it needs to be print, then do it the right way.
Yeah.
But if you're just doing it like this for fun, and you can afford to have those RGB colors that are more, impacting when you see them, they're vibrant, they're cool, then do it that way, I'm doing a lot of this stuff for online use and for Instagram and just for fun. So that's why I did RGB. Obviously, if you start RGB and then you try to do print, you're gonna spend a lot of time trying to make those colors look right.
Yeah.
And that is a real problem, especially with the work that I do that is so bright and so colorful.
Yeah.
But you can achieve it, and you can do some print modes and some stuff that can help you. And you can Google a lot of those stuff. There's a lot of good tutorials out there that teach you. You see here, you can really appreciate this. Like this white, you see how it disappears?
Oh, wow, yeah.
Using it on the...
Using that overlay.
Using the overlay mode. Obviously, this is really lazy, what I'm doing right now. I wouldn't advise doing this for like client work because it's obviously not the right way.
Right.
You want to
spend a little more time.
Yeah, you want to spend more time. And another way to do it, I'll go back to the photo. And I don't want to spend the whole time talking about this, but I feel like this is a huge part of like making things look sharp. One of the things that I like doing is like every time I do something, I want it to look. You can see the hair here. I want it to look perfect and as presentable as possible.
Yeah.
And when you do that, automatically, if your goal is to get clients or doing stuff like that, this is the thing that actually sells it, because you see something that's finished, you see something that's good right off, off the gate.
Yep.
So you want to spend time doing this. Another way you can do this is by, I don't know why this is not clicking right now. Okay, there it is. Is by selecting the color mode over here that has the biggest contrast with the background. In this case, it's really tough because I feel like everything is kind of the same.
Yeah.
But if you find one that has more black, I think this is it. You can duplicate that one. I don't know if you can see my whole screen yet. You can. You can duplicate the green, and then play with the levels.
I think I'm blocking the level slider.
Oh yeah. I'll move it over here. There you go. So you can play with the levels to get as much, separation from the background as possible.
Okay, so you're just trying to separate.
Does that make sense?
The subject from the background.
Yeah, yeah. Everything black will be, everything white will be the selection, right? And then when you do this, you click OK, and you make a selection. You go back to your layers, and then now you can. I'm gonna invert it.
Go to your mask.
Yeah, but you can edit now the mask within this, if that makes sense. Like you can. Let me go back to I did the selection, right?
Yep.
Let me deselect it real quick and select it again. Yeah, if I didn't have a mask here, let me do it without the mask. There you go. So on this, you can see like all the white is selected. If you invert it before you do that, you'll have the hair, like a lot of the hair, like really well separated. This is a way that takes more time, but it's the better way to do it.
Yeah.
And then obviously you're gonna have to go back to it and fix a lot of it.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what we've done here already. We have this.
Right.
Another thing that you can do to make this better, if you want to keep the background dark, is to do a layer on top of it, do a mask inside of that, and then grab your brush tool, go to normal again, and start, painting over those corners. So you can color pick from here, start painting over that.
Oh, I see. So you
see? Yeah.
You're just adding that color that you're picking.
Yeah, I did it really big
the
there.
strays.
But so you want to keep sampling the edges.
Oh, that's useful.
Yeah, and the way you do is that you press Alt or Option, and you pick a sample and you paint over it. So that way, you automatically have a finished look regardless of the background color. Over here, what you can do inside, you see that white inside of there?
Yep.
You can use a clone tool to, to make more hair there, or you can even paint
to fill it in a bit,
Yeah, you can paint it darker or whatever you want to do to duplicate this hair and do it in this hole. Right now, we're going to leave it this way because we want to move on to creating,
Yeah, we got a little less than a minute till we get to that creative chat and win challenge where if you're still here, which you should be, you could win some stickers. So 48 more seconds.
Cool. Before we do that, let's try to. So I'm gonna select the mask that I did before, and what we want to do is that I want to paint, or you can leave it on the background, but you want to paint over where her clothes is not. Like you want to create.
Oh, just to add.
Yeah,
that
just to
space.
add that.
Yeah.
And then this is we were talking about. We went live about like disruptive ways to do things, and the right way to do is to like try to keep everything. What would you call it? Not disruptive,
non-destructive.
Yeah. So you want to keep it the original ways. So if you have to go back to it, you can make edits.
You're keeping your original pixels.
Exactly. Yeah. But in this case, again, I'll say it again. You don't have to. I'm tripping over here with.
Well, why don't we jump to the chat and win first?
Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and do that.
So it's time for chat and win. That's what those little fireworks in the back means. And we're back. So now that we're in the Chatman Challenge, just drop something in the chat. Say your name or say where you're from, and let's see who's gonna win the 100 free stickers from Sticker Mule. So I see Feng Lim says woohoo. Is that where you're from? Let's see. We've got Everardo. We've got Tamara. Where's everybody from? Let's see that in your chat so we can add some color to this as our magic machine picks the winner of the of the challenge. We've got Sienna from Colorado, living in Ohio. All right. Lithuania. Valentis is from Lithuania. Awesome. Must be late over there. I see Fung's from Winnipeg. Everardo's from Puebla, Mexico. Got Tiana from Colorado Springs. All right, and our winner is Gucho Mas. Congratulations. You win 100 free 3x3 stickers from Sticker Mule. The fastest and easiest way to create custom stickers. Probably half the stickers you see on my laptop here were made through Sticker Mule. But if you're not Gucho and you didn't win, you can still get a deal to get 10 stickers for $1 if you use this URL up here, Adobe Live 20. And so everyone gets to win in some way. All right, so now let's get back to it.
Back to it. All right, so we have this, layer with the selection here. We have the coloring that we did inside of the hair. We can get rid of that because we're making the background light anyways. And then we have the background that we kept the clothes going to make it look like there's more photo than there actually is. So what we're gonna do now is that we're going to combine this. And what I did is that I duplicated the layer so that I can keep all the stuff down here just in case something happens.
So you're keeping your originals in case you need
I'm keeping the originals just in case, because now I want to combine it all because I want to do a lot of colors inside. So I want to be able to have that. And over here, what we can do is that here I have what I did underneath. But you can see it a little bit showing through because the selection wasn't perfect. So in a very ugly way, I'm gonna just delete this background from it.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna delete a little bit of it. I always use the brush super soft because I like to give that soft look.
Yeah.
Especially when using color. But right now I'm wanting to combine the background with that. Yeah, so we're combining this whole group right here.
Okay.
And
good so far.
Making it into one. And that way we have, the photo and then the rest of the body we created.
Yep.
That way if we wanted to make it smaller, we could to fit better into our... And I like to keep the face kind of centered. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a layer here to paint over using samples from here.
Just get the general color first and then you can texture it later.
Yeah. I'm probably not gonna even texture it because I'll probably do big colors inside of here that are not even these.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm liking that. And then for the background, and please stop me if you have any questions or...
Yeah, and I'll definitely call out if anyone has any questions.
Perfect.
I should be monitoring this.
Sometimes, if I go really fast, let me know, and we can go back to...
I think people are really excited to see you at work.
Yeah.
We got a lot of fans in here.
So let's create some background for these. Color-wise, picking colors, you can just have fun with it. Yep. I don't have a certain way that I pick colors. So when you open the color picker here, if you pick all of your colors from the same area, let's say if you pick this purple or pink, whatever this is, if you pick it from here, if you keep picking all of your colors from the same area, they will all look good together most of the time. So let's try that right now. So we're gonna do this pink.
This is kind of how you manage your palette.
Yeah, kind of managing the palette. Yeah. You see a lot of the imperfections on the hair already is starting to disappear because it's a lighter background. So it'll even get better as we go, because I'll do some pink around the edges of the hair and all of that. And then, so we're gonna pick a second color. Something else that you can do to pick color is to follow the natural transition of the colors from red to pink to blue to, you know, whatever this lighter blue is, and then green. So if you follow that, that also helps a lot. So from there, we can go to this blue right here. And whenever this blue, if you have a soft brush, it mixes with that.
Oh, okay.
And then, you know, it blends really well.
Yeah.
Because it's more natural.
Right.
From there, we can go to even like a yellow like this.
Some nice pastel.
Do around here.
Yeah.
And this is a lot of what I did for a long time. It's just all these pastels.
Okay.
And then over here, I want it to be darker, so I'm going back to the red, doing a little more intense here. I'm gonna go just in the edge right here. So I'm doing this with a brush. I have it all the way. You know, softness is 0, hardness, and then the size is as big as I can get it. And you're just applying this and making your own kind of color wave. You can do colors within these colors if you want to. That's something I do a lot too. Like I want to do this green right here inside of the blue. So I'll just right here go to the edge. And, you know, boom, then you have that kind of like that green. And this is you just do it the way you think is looking good, you know? There's not magic potion or like recipe to do this. You just,
like Carl's asking, what's your inspiration? How do you draw that? Picking something like this with these colors.
Well, I've always liked colorful stuff, and then when I started doing the Poster a Day series, I wanted to stand out, and I've always liked colors. So if you look at my posters all the way to number 1 or around that, I just started using these colors and mixing them with portraits because I enjoy seeing photography and portraits and taking my own photos when I can and using them. So I thought, you know, this whole graphic style, colorful, with the portraits would be, you know, what I want to do. So that's how I started doing that. I enjoy the work of Matisse, the painter, and he did a lot of like color changing. So he would do things that would normally be, you know, the color of the skin, he would make it really red or really blue. And that's something that nobody was doing back then. And I enjoy, you know, starting history of art like that, in that sense of like getting ideas of what you could do yourself. You know, if somebody tries something that is super different, you're like, oh man, I want to try that too. Does that make sense? So, all right, so here we are.
That's cool.
We have a background going. You could also do a background. I'll do a different background just so that we can have an idea of another thing we can do. So we can do maybe like an afternoon kind of background would be going from like really dark blues. So we will do something like this, like nighttime on top. Yeah, and then like we'll do maybe like a lighter one going down. And again, this is almost like painting, you know? You're like basically doing like digital painting with your brush. And then from here again, we will do something like this, maybe. We'll see what it looks like.
Oh, I like that. That looks good.
Yeah, and then we can do super light color and do the bottom, you know, to give it that kind of light kind of look, you know. So that's cool too. I like both of those.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? Number 1 is this one. Number 2 would be this one.
Yeah,
what do we go
the chat
with?
Thinks.
The chat thinks is number 1 or number 2?
So this number 1 is this number 1?
This is number 2, and this is number 1.
All right, chat. Let's see what you guys think.
Oh man, I'm gonna go with 2.
Paul likes 2.
I love both of them.
I think if we do,
Got 1 vote for 1. Maybe let's go with 1.
yeah, 1-1. Okay, this is 1, so let's do 1.
2 for, oh, look at that. The ones are pouring in.
Cool. Let's do 1. 1.
Sorry, Paul.
I think Paul has a lot of.
I wanted 1 too.
Yeah, I think Paul has a lot of like he has a lot of, the crowd wants what Paul wants. So let's do that. I'm gonna add another layer, and I'm gonna do a little bit of white underneath her, behind her face, just so that we can get the hair fixed a little more. Also, that makes the piece stand out more. You know, when you have this white kind of behind it, it stands out from
Like
the
a glow.
background. And that's something that like people do a lot on posters for films and stuff like that. You see that white glow behind it. And I see a lot of people's work sometimes that doesn't have enough contrast, where people that try to do this style, they do a lot of colors, obviously, because it's very colorful, but it could get muddy, you know, and it could get like busy. So what you want to do is you want to keep that contrast really well.
Okay.
Over here, obviously, the glasses, I love doing stuff like this on the glasses. So I'm going to go ahead and use the pen tool again to select the glasses. And I'm just trying to use the least amount of like strokes or points as possible, because that's what you need to do when you use the pen tool.
Yeah.
Just try to do the least you can. Over here, we have the nose. We're going to go ahead and select it like this.
I think I'm gonna have to take a pen tool class from you.
Well, I've practiced for a lot of years. So there you go.
All right.
Boom. So we have the right there. Glass number 1, number 2. Try to do it as fast as possible so people don't get bored. This is the boring part, like selecting all of the stuff and
I'm fascinated.
thinking through the process. Obviously, we're doing it as fast as possible here.
Yeah.
Take your time at home, and there's even a website now that teaches you how to use the pen tool. It's like, if you Google pen tool exercises, like it tells you like what to do, basically. It's pretty fun. All right, so that's that. That's wrong right there. So we're gonna go back and fix it.
Just tweak it a little bit.
Yeah. It's like a weird itch right there. Bring it in.
Steve says the pen tool always mocks him.
Was mocks him?
I guess it's a difficult tool to learn.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Yeah. A friend of mine, his name is Bobby Sarda. He does a lot of like lettering, and he was the one that got me into using more of the pen tool or learning it like really well.
Interesting.
And his take on it is like to do the least amount of strokes or points as you can. So if you do only a few point selection, it'll look really well. It'll look natural.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
All the curves and everything.
Yeah, and if they always go the same direction, that will help it too. So the horizontals are always horizontals. The verticals are always verticals.
Oh, okay.
So you don't ever like have like, 13 degrees here, 20 degrees here. That's what makes it look bad. So you keep them all the same 90, or 45, whatever that is. Yeah. And then that helps a lot.
Okay.
So right now we have the glasses going. I like them. Nose is not perfect. We could spend time doing the same thing we did before. We're gonna leave it like that for now. I think a color that would contrast really well with this would be pinks, since we have a lot of like cold colors on the background. So we're gonna again create another mask inside of these, and we're going to go ahead and use some cold colors, or like cold color palette, more into the. I understand I'm saying cold and using pink, but I'm going into it right now in a second. So I'm gonna start with pink here on the edge, and then go into like the blue. It's already blue, so I'm trying to bring some more color into it. And again, with color stuff, it's just whatever looks good. I understand that's really vague, but at the same time, you just want to feel it, Like this background gives you like a summer vibe, afternoon kind of deal, this kind of like weird green vibe. So for the background, you want to do, on top of her, you want to do something cold that contrasts that, So we're going to go ahead and do this. Do you like this?
It looks good.
You approve?
Yeah,
Okay.
I love the colors.
Okay, so trying to think what else we can do. So we can do a little bit of sunglass magic here. What if we do, I'm gonna create a mask over here. I'm gonna make a selection that goes with the angle. Something else that people struggle with, I feel like, whenever I see other people's work that tries to duplicate this style, is not things not lining up well, or I cut a lot of faces.
Oh yeah, I've seen that where you like they're like a orange peel kind of.
And then sometimes people like do that, but they don't do it right. It doesn't look right with the camera angle and all of that. So that's something really important. Over here, the face, you got to keep it straight with the glasses.
Yeah.
And I want to make that selection right there. Hopefully I don't miss it, but we're gonna delete that. We're gonna delete that, and then we have this kind of like half.
I like that
tone kind of deal. We can also make a new layer and add a little bit of color on top of the glasses on the top part. So we're gonna go ahead and do that as well. Again, I have the brush. The brush is like the tool that I use probably the most.
Yeah.
And then
that and the pen tool.
That and the pen tool.
Which Gucho says he's very impressed. He did all that with just the trackpad, no mouse. So.
Oh yeah, I've been doing the trackpad right now because I have the mouse over here, but on my laptop, for some reason, I keep using the trackpad now. It's more comfortable. You don't have to get the mouse everywhere you go.
Yeah.
So over here, we're gonna do these kind of blue on top of the sunglasses, and when you zoom out, it looks good. It looks nice together. Sometimes I design and it's like this big when I'm designing, and people get mad at me. They're like, "Why is it so small?" And you gotta feel, what's going on from a small perspective. Because if you get too much into the details, this feels great, and then you zoom out, and all the colors don't match, and it feels,
So you start like a macro level, and just
exactly, yeah. Especially for nowadays, if your audience is Instagram, you wanna, wanna go ahead and do Instagram size.
Yeah.
This is Instagram size right here. That's
they're
what people
see.
See.
That wide view. They're not gonna. Look at the details
Nobody's
and
ever
stuff.
like seeing this
They're not,
on
like,
my
zooming
Instagram.
in like that.
But if they wanted to, they could. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So I'm doing some edges here where it looks kind of cool with that. I kind of like the contrast here. It looks like a city. It's really not a city, but it looks like it. And I'm gonna go ahead and use the sharpen tool to sharpen inside of the photo to bring out that city look a little more,
Yeah.
Since that's right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so you can see it a little more from further away. How much time do we have?
We got about 40 minutes till design feedback, so I got plenty of time for now.
All right, so we'll pick it up a little bit. So over here, I want to do like some dripping on the glasses. That's something I've done a lot as well in the past. So, we're gonna drop, again, pen tool. We want to make it look like it's dripping a little bit. Try to keep it straight. Keep it straight. Go in. It's probably wrong right here. It's hard to see, right?
Oh, you're making individual. Wow.
Yeah. So there it is. So it's like dripping. Oh, hold on. It's inside, right? I want to put it outside. There you go. Yeah. And over here it's bad over here, so we'll fix it.
That. Voodoo Val is a fan of the dripping.
He likes it dripping, yeah. So it'll make it look more like a drop over here. And some of these details, again, depending on what you're working on. If you're working for Instagram, like, if you're making these, like, it's not gonna print, it's not gonna do any of that.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about it so much.
Yeah.
But if you want, if you want to print a huge once, one day, or if you want to planning on selling it, you want to make these details look fantastic, across the board. So
plus, since you've used the pen tool, you have a vector shape, so it'll
expand. It'll expand. Yeah. So let's go ahead and do another one here. Make it look thicker, maybe. And what I'm doing here is like mirroring the one that I did before. This is probably too pointy. So edit this. Yeah.
Jan wants this to be the splash screen for the next Photoshop.
Oh, really? That's not up to me, but it would be cool, yeah. Yeah, maybe I want to do a little bit of pink here in the glasses on the right and left. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm trying to think if I have time to do what I just imagined. Maybe I don't have time. But I'll do the dripping here, and then I'll do something on the hair. I feel like the hair is missing something balance-wise.
Okay.
On the right side, over here. Like, you know. If you can imagine something like here, you know. Obviously, I'm just using here the pencil.
Just
so
to kind of
to
sketch
give
out,
you an
right?
idea, yeah. Something there, maybe. And then we can move the whole image to the right a little bit.
Okay.
You know, just leaning to the left.
Right.
Or in the screen
Like
would be that way.
leaning
Yeah.
into it, yeah.
Yeah, so it'll work that way. Okay, so let's finish the eye. Anybody have any questions so far? Anything that they would
Let's
like to
see.
talk about?
It's just some friends, people who really like dripping.
Everybody likes dripping. All right, so all of this dripping stuff is white because we kept the bottom white. So I want to give it the impression of like it falling, you know. Also, this dripping stuff is like, I'm trying to keep it very non-realistic, you know, like almost like vectory, you know. If we would try
Like
to
a straight
make,
line,
yeah,
none of that, like
none of the
other details.
Because you could go in and try to like make a drip in the face. I have some processes where I've done that. It just takes, you know, takes longer.
Let me
So
see
I'm
if I
trying
can find
to,
some.
yeah, if you go to my Instagram, I have one that's like an astronaut and I did a video and, you know, you can look for it in there.
I'll find it.
Yeah, so let's do this pretty fast.
Oh, we got a cool one here.
There you go.
Paul, if you want to switch over to my screen for a sec.
Oh, that's a different
This
thing.
is some dripping, right?
Yeah, that's so that's actually
It's kinda cool.
pixel sorting.
Oh, okay.
So you can use. Thankfully now people make apps for it. Before it was legit like a software that you would use, and it would make your computer like glitch,
Oh, okay.
and it would
Got
make
it.
the image glitch like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So what I did is that I grabbed
right.
the the glitch image and the real image, and then I would mask it.
Oh, okay. I see.
You know, to make it look like that, and then obviously did some
Now there's
coloring.
apps that do it.
Do some coloring, yeah, as well. All right, something we can do
All right,
now
back to
from this point. Let me add a little bit of pink to the glasses. That's something else I want to do that I think will look good. Something else you want to keep in mind is like when you're doing something like this, and this is something that Hannah does really well as well. It's like doing light. So if the light is coming from a place,
Yeah.
you know, you want to keep it consistent, try to keep it as much. And for that, you have to do a lot of selections. So over here, we have this pink light coming from the bottom. You would want to do pink on the glasses over here.
Okay.
If that makes sense, you know? For that, I will have to select the frame and do the pink. I'm not going to do that right now because of time. But, so I want to bring other elements that I think it will be more fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But you can spend so much time just refining all of these details and just having fun with it.
Yeah.
Let's see. So where's this at? Also now I have a mess on my layers. I'm sorry everybody that freaks out about that. I promise I keep them clean usually when I do work. When you're doing stuff this fast, you know, you're just going with it.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do like maybe some pink on the top. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I like it on the top only. And I'm gonna fade it a little bit too. There you go. I just wanted just a tap of that. And yeah, this is looking good so far. One other thing that I like doing a lot and you can do as well, is that I like to select everything that I have over here. So I'm gonna select
All the layers.
the whole
yeah.
portrait.
I'll group it together.
Yeah, I'm gonna group it together and I'm gonna duplicate it. I believe there's a shortcut for this, but I always get it wrong. So, and I'm putting one on top, right?
So you're duplicating the merged.
Yeah, so it's
version of
still
group.
it's still underneath it, but I'm gonna have like a super, like everything is merged into the top
Yeah.
one, and I'm gonna play here with a lot of the colors. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the curves, and we're basically playing with the colors of the top one,
Mm-hmm.
and you know. You can.
So when you're doing this, do you have a specific idea of how you want the tone curve to look, or are you just kind of playing around with?
I'm playing around with
notes
it,
and
but
playing around?
the purpose of what I'm trying to do right now is to get these colors right here, these rainbows,
Okay.
where the colors meet.
Yeah.
There's a lot of colors hidden in the transition, you know, that almost looks like a gradient.
Yeah.
So I want to get some of those out. So that's what I'm doing right there. You can do it with that, and then you can switch to red and maybe, you know, mess around with that a little more. And then switch out to blue or green and do the same. Again, a lot of this is exploring.
Right.
You see, that was too much because it was my main goal
lost
for
all
this.
those
Is I
transitions.
lost a lot of that. So I don't want to do that. Let's do blue. I like this. It goes well with it. I'm not going to leave it like this because all of this is burnt up here. If you can see, you know, it looks really bad. So and what I want to do is I do maybe a blending mode on that.
Okay.
So let's see some of these blending modes. See, so I like something like this, but at the same time, like it's messing a lot with the image that we've done so far.
Yeah.
So sometimes what I do is that I duplicate it again. I do the blending mode on this one. And then I merge those two again and then do another blending mode.
Oh, okay.
You know, so it's like blending mode on blending mode.
Oh, that one looks cool.
Yeah. so you can get a lot of cool effects.
Yeah.
And you don't have to settle for, you know, I like this a lot, like doing this kind of,
wow.
let me see, I don't have this one on. Yeah, there you go. Doing a lot of the things that highlight some of the colors.
Yeah.
You know, it gives it this kind of like luminescent kind of look, you know. Even something like this is more subtle.
Yeah.
And then the cool thing about this is that you can still play with it. You can apply it, right?
Right.
Let's say we go with this one. Then you can still come into the hue saturation, bring more saturation in,
Yeah. Change the hues.
play with the hues a little bit, and then you can mask that and erase the parts that you don't
Okay,
want. So
yeah.
I don't want, you know,
Like leave the hair.
we'll do the
The
soft.
burned out parts you said.
We'll do the soft over here.
Yeah.
We erase the hair. Obviously don't want the glasses. That part was cool. I don't want any of these down here. So we just leave it in certain parts you
Okay.
see of the image.
Yeah.
This is giving it just a little bit more, little accent of something different, you know?
Yeah.
You're like, okay, that's cool. You know, it's like a little transition that I don't know what it is.
Right.
And yeah, you can play with that. Even change it to another color mode, like this one. If I want it more, I can bring it back with the mask and bring it in certain parts like the nose and some of these highlights over here, and then I can go back and erase it from the sunglasses.
So Lara's asking, do you do more posters in this series? So Magdiel's been doing one a day about for
so
the
I
last
did
500. So
yeah, the last
hopefully,
500, yeah.
he'll continue doing those.
Yeah, so so all of these is like finding more color and more saturation and more stuff like that. So you can do that or not. In this case, I'm gonna go back and leave it the way it was a second ago. So I'm just going back. Here it is. I like this.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
I like that kind of like fluorescent kind of look right here. It's almost too much, but it's right on the edge. So I'm gonna leave it right there. Oh, we want to do some flowers here or something, right?
Yeah.
How long do we have?
Got 30 minutes.
We got time.
And we can pick up and continue tomorrow too, unless you want to do a new poster, which looks like based on your themes, we'll do a whole new one tomorrow probably.
Yeah, I want to do a new one tomorrow with a different perspective. Maybe do more of a landscape kind of situation, or maybe, you know, whatever. If the chat wants something different, you know, we can try something different.
Yeah.
So let's look for flowers.
Jan says maybe the title is Alone in Pantone.
Oh, I like that. That's cool. Okay, so you can get some of these flowers that are like all like white background and use some of those. If you're not doing any commercial work, and again, you can ask for people for their photos all the time.
Yeah.
there's a lot of websites online that even have them cut out as PNGs already.
Okay.
So you don't have to go through the effort of like cutting them out.
Right.
Right now, I'm trying to find something that I could have there, that we can do it fast and doesn't take us forever to cut. So maybe these. I'm thinking some of the flowers here could work. So let's go ahead and download this image. It's downloading. And we'll try to place them here.
Okay.
Something that I did for a long time too is adding like a sun or like a circle behind, you know, some of the images that I do. And usually I do that just with a normal circle. And sometimes what I do is that I do like an outer glow on it. I'll show how to do that in a second. Let's see if we do
The
that.
simplicity of this it makes it look really cool still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do an auto glow. We can do normal and do it white, and it'll almost make the circle,
Oh, okay.
you know, kind of fade away. Yeah. The bad thing right now with this is that it's messing up the drip. You know, you don't see it as much here. So maybe we could just make that smaller or get rid of it. You know? I kind of like it right here on the
I like
side.
that.
And it might balance the flowers once we add them over here. So let's do the flowers. I mean, if any of you guys in the chat have ever done flowers, you know, they're challenging to cut because there's so much detail going on.
Yeah.
So an easy way to do that again is like duplicate this layer, go to levels, mess with the levels, make it as, you know, as dark as you can, stand out from the background, you know. And then you let Photoshop do the rest, do the selection for you, basically. So you can do it with the, where's the new tool?
I think you're in the old Photoshop.
I am, no way. Here's the new Photoshop, right?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
We're already deep in, so I guess you could.
Yeah. It's okay.
We'll try it tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll do it tomorrow. We can just do, if you go in here, you can maybe, let's select the white first, and then we, you know.
Yeah.
Select the white. You can also do color range, which helps because you can see exactly how much white you're taking from it. So let's do color range real quick. Select color range.
So the tool he was referring to, looking for, was Object Select, I believe?
Object Select.
Yep.
Yeah, I've been using a lot of that lately.
It's really fun to use.
Yeah.
It's a very powerful selection tool. Helps you, helps speed up your workflow a lot, at least for me.
We'll definitely use it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Though. So over here you can see our selection. It's pretty bad around the edges, but again, you can just put as much effort as you want or not into getting this fixed. If you're in a hurry, you can leave it, or we can do the overlay kind of trick that I talked about before. So in this case, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna apply this. Let's invert it. What did I just do? There it is. Okay, so
I
mean, it's not terrible. We'll see once we put it in here. Yeah, it's not bad. And now we're gonna apply some color into it, and we can go ahead and do some blur around the edges as well. I meant to do that here on her jacket as well, but I'm just trying to go fast and do entertaining stuff instead of just doing boring things like refining edges and stuff like that. Yeah. So over here, yeah, we can do that overlay black on the brush, and then we go back to the layer and we start erasing the edges, and that will get rid of some of the white brush. You know.
I'm gonna use that trick now.
Yeah, so it's getting rid of some of the edges. Over here you can see, maybe it does it here. Yeah, gets rid of some of it. Obviously it's still really bad though. Some of the things you can do is that you can select the edge of it, and then go to, where is it? Select, modify, border.
Oh, you're trying to
That
shrink
one?
it a bit? You contract it.
Yeah, but you can also you can do this, and then once it's
then
selected,
delete out the border.
you can blur it
I see.
as well. It'll blur the whole
Border.
edge for you. Again, none of these things are good to do when you're doing client work, but in this case, we're trying to do it fast.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and cut some of these flowers out of here. So for that, instead of doing this, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to this, and instead of doing a mask, I'm gonna bring it without the background. So we don't have to, we don't have the mask. I'm afraid if I did it right there, it would cut off the edges. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select this flower right here. Maybe grab the pen tool. Get rid of some of the background stuff.
Valentis says this overlay trick will help him a lot. Big thanks to you.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's really cool. I've never seen that before.
it works really well with hair and stuff like that, where the contrast is not as good. Yeah, over here we're done. Boom, boom. I'm gonna make a selection around this. And
I see. Just pulling out that top part.
yeah, I'm pulling out this flower. I'll place it right here. And we're gonna get some more flowers from here. Maybe this one looks cool. Maybe we can place it on the back. So what I'm doing right now is cutting these off,
That precision pen work.
Yeah.
So good.
Oh yeah, so over here you see there's another petal in the back. I'm gonna get rid of that one as well.
Okay.
Just to the, And over here, like I said before, nobody knows what this petal looks like in real life. So if you can save some time by just doing a selection that keeps some of the petal outside, so you don't have to go back and retouch it, because look at how bad these edges are over here.
Yeah.
You can spend so much time fixing those, and you need to if you're trying to do it right. What's going on over here? See, okay, yeah, let's go really close by. All right, so we're gonna again select this flower,
That looks good.
drop it right there. Yeah, it works.
Cool.
Yeah, maybe we need to add got a color circle over here.
Josh calls you the pen tool Jedi. Everyone just loves your pen tool skills.
Thank you. Yeah, we can obviously we can play with altering the color of these and go to color
Flowers.
balance to look better with the image. Mess around with that. Do the same one with this one right here.
So you're trying to peg the color more to her hair, or just the overall theme?
The
of
overall
image?
look. So right now, I feel her tones are really muted,
Yeah.
and this is really bright. So I'm gonna darken.
Got it.
No darken, but take some saturation away.
Yeah.
But what I'm doing now is I'm trying to think of the photo overall, look, is this pink and whatever. So I'm trying to make it look good with the photo. I'm using the color balance to do that. So, once we're here, maybe we can do some saturation, lower the saturation a tiny bit. Around there. Do the same thing here, this one. Lower saturation. And then one cool thing that you can do with always when you have things layered like that on top of each other is to give it some shadows. You obviously do that with black. And you can just play with it like this,
Yep.
I'm doing it really rough right now, obviously not spending a lot of time on it. Change the blending mode to multiply, lower the opacity, and trying to fit something in there so that it looks more realistic and it goes together better. Something that I also like to do is to add some of these, like this circle adding more elements that are vectory looking to the piece. So maybe these big straws, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, it looks like a straw.
Yeah, it looks like a straw. Well, let me go back and maybe make it a little thinner. Yeah, this will work. Put it underneath.
Nice.
And you can even do a gradient inside of that, you know?
Oh, that's
There you go.
good.
Yeah. I'm gonna alter that. We need some shadow on her hair. I'm doing a mask inside of, on top of these, on top of this whole folder. And you might need to go even above these. So I'll put it above these. Do a layer on top of that.
Just a reminder to everyone, if you are participating in the design challenge, make sure to drop your work into the design challenge tab on Discord, which is, I think, current challenge. And we'll review those in about 18 minutes.
Cool.
Marissa, I was about to say the same thing. It kind of looks like Taylor Swift.
Oh, it does. All right, so obviously this is missing some green leaves, you know, in the back.
Yeah.
So we got about 18 minutes to go? Okay. We got time.
Yeah.
So we can do a little more contrast. Obviously from here, it's just a matter of making the image look like it's cohesive, you know, like it was taken all together. So you can add contrast to these flowers. Obviously they're lacking a little contrast. One thing that I do towards the end is that I come in and I do a color mode in the whole photo at the end.
Okay.
And that really brings it all together because it highlights the blues and the, you know, and all of that. I'm adding some shadows underneath this right here. This needs to be darker. The flower in the back needs to be darker.
Okay.
So you see, it's looking already a little more tridimensional with doing some of these small tweaks, you know. Obviously, you can use the same flower if you don't have time. And
just make it a little more bushier.
Yeah, or like you can mirror it, you know. In this case, we'll do this right here. Boom. And then we'll make it a little darker since it's in the background. More contrasty. Also, you can change the color of it a bit to make it look like a different flower.
Yeah. And nobody will know.
Nobody will know. Again, all these flowers, edging of it is like so bad.
On Instagram, it looks pretty good.
I'm not even gonna try to fix it right now because it would take a long time.
Yeah.
You know, something else that you need to do is to add shadow inside of the flower that's close to the hair. All of those stuff, you know, it's like things that you normally have to do for things to look like they belong together.
Yeah.
And they're the things that take the longest, you know. Obviously, these flowers have a lot of white right there, so it looks weird, looks like it's floating or something. So you need to spend a lot of time doing stuff like that. And then you can blur it a little bit as well. We're gonna use the curves again. Anybody have any recommendations or questions or anything they want us to do?
Let's see. I think just a lot of comments on what your photo looks like. Got some Captain Marvel, Taylor Swift, Captain Pantone.
Oh, what it should be called?
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, we'll name it at the end. So let's do another gradient here. I'll probably do this gradient inverted. There you go.
I like that.
You can tell I use the gradients a lot.
Yeah, so like earlier you kind of made your own gradient with the brushes, but now you're just using the tool to get that,
Yeah.
to fill in your shapes.
And over here, what I want to do is that I want to do shadow as well.
And then just wants to see pixel sorting.
People want to see pixel sorting?
Yeah, maybe another day.
Yeah. So right now, what I do with that is that I use an app and then I bring it into
I
Photoshop
see.
to like keep working on it.
Yeah.
Because it's so much easier than just doing it on
Right.
the traditional way that it used to do it before.
Yeah.
This kind of works. It's missing some leaves in the back, maybe here. I want to do another thing that I've done before. That people always ask me how you do it, and is that I merge all of these once again, grab all of it.
It's kind of like what you did with the first time to get those transitions.
Exactly.
pulled out.
Yeah. So it's like Inception over here. You keep going deeper and deeper. And then I'll use this final one to do a. We can do it inside of Liquify. It'll probably be faster.
Okay.
Let's see. And then I want to make these flowers kind of drip, on top of the hair.
Yeah. That looks
Basically, I'm following. You know what? I'm gonna do it with the. Where is it?
cool. The smudge.
There it is. Smudge tool. There you are. Obviously, this looks so bad right here. Like it doesn't look realistic.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to be blurred out a little more.
Mm-hmm.
But we can do that. We can do that towards the end. So you can do it together with the hair. The strength is too high right now, but you can do it together with the hair. It'll give it a more natural look,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like this. So it's melting into the hair, it's melting into it a little more. This would be perfect for to do it with the iPad, but no, right now I'm just doing it with the mouse. Oh no, not the mouse, the
Trackpad.
The pad, yeah. So it's not perfect, but you can do a bigger one.
Kind of looks like ice cream now.
Yeah, it's like melting on top of the hair. It's cool.
So is this an effect you do often with hair, or you just kind of
Yes,
thought of it now?
I've done this a couple times with flowers where they melt.
Mm-hmm.
That helmet one that I just showed a second ago has this effect as well. You see, you don't want to do this whole merge thing until very end where you're like super happy with the image because
Mm-hmm.
like right now, obviously, I think this looks really bad right here. The contrast, you can see a lot of white.
Right.
It doesn't look great, but I've committed and I'm going fast.
Yeah.
So you want to fix all of that before you get to this stage because this stage is like final.
Yeah. This is the destructive editing where you're actually
You're actually
changing the
It's
pixels.
very destructive. So you want to be 100% super happy with what you've done over here. So when you get to these, if you ever do these, you can do it right. Yeah, I have used the tablet before, like on my computer, but I do so many things on the go
Mm-hmm.
that I have to get used to the pad. That's what I've done in the past.
So I'm gonna have to win you over to using Photoshop on the iPad.
Yes, yes. I have to do that more.
I'll work on that the next 2 sessions.
Yes, I have to do that more. Okay, so we have this melting kind of deal. How much time do we have?
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
A little
Okay.
over 10 minutes.
We can melt this side as well, so it looks, so it looks like it's part of the same world.
Voodoo Val is asking, how do you get your smudge tool to work so smoothly? Is it the strength setting you're using, or?
Well, I'm using the soft right now, so it's soft.
Okay.
You see over here the settings,
Mm-hmm.
and the strength is 87, around that much.
Mm-hmm.
It's working smoothly because the file is not that big. If the file is huge, then you will have a lot of problems with this.
Okay.
That's why I made it smaller at the beginning because I knew, like, if I were to attempt something like this, but it's basically the computer power. If your computer is really good, I have a desktop that is really big, so it handles a lot of these really well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you can see kind of like how this is looking. Cool thing about the Smudge tool, sometimes you can change it as well to lighten or whatever. So if you want to grab the top layer,
Mm-hmm.
go on top of the shadows, you can do that as well.
It's kind of goes with the summer theme you're talking about. Everything's melting now.
Yeah, it's starting to look really cool.
Yeah.
You can even melt this if you want to. You know, the straight, if you keep it straight, it'll look more realistic, you know?
Oh, yeah.
There you go. So, keeping it straight, it's melting on the other side as well.
That looks really good.
Let's do a little more melting over here. Yeah, and it kind of fades into white, you know, after a little bit. But the cool thing about that is you can select it, do a mask, and paint over that if you wanted to.
Yeah, right.
All right, so I'm kind of happy with how this turned out so far. Let's see what else we can do to it. I don't know if I like the circle or not. Maybe I'll do it. Maybe I'll do it down here.
I think it works as the sun. So if you're using it as a sun,
Yeah, it
I
kind of
think
works
this
as
is
the
a good
sun.
theme for it.
Yeah. At the same time, I love it without it as well.
Yeah.
So maybe what I'll do is that I'll get rid of it for now, and then I'll do this a little bigger. You see, this is why you don't want to disrupt things.
Oh, yeah.
Did I put the numbers in there?
Oh
as
yeah,
well?
it is.
I did put the numbers in there, right? Yeah, horrible. I'm doing horrible right now, teaching people.
It looks pretty good to me.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and do this. You can tell I've been using Photoshop for a long time because I keep pressing Shift when you have to resize things.
Oh, because they switched it.
Yeah, and it's
You can switch that back.
you can keep
in
it.
the
I
preferences.
kind of like it now because it's like I've kind of gotten used to not doing it for a little bit because it makes sense not to do it, unless you want to disrupt it.
That's definitely a big thing we heard once that change went
When
through.
they shifted, yeah. For me, it was tough because I was so used to doing it.
Yeah.
But hey,
it's muscle memory.
it's working.
It's hard
working.
to break those.
Slowly but surely. I'll get there. I'm gonna add a little more white on behind the image over here. You see how it makes it pop even more,
Oh yeah.
with the background. And then one thing you can also do is add some lights on the edges of here, a little bit of light. And then I like to change also to dissolve, and that gives it this nice grainy
Oh yeah,
look,
I like the grain.
Yeah, so it works as well. Maybe it's a little too much, so I'll move it to the edge a little more. It's just giving it just a tiny bit of highlights, And then overall, the photo is cool, but the colors need to pop a little more or a little less. It's kind of like in the middle now. We're not committed to being super bright or super dark.
Yeah.
So what we can do, is doing a color balance on top of everything. Kind of shift the colors a little bit, kind of like that.
Okay.
Or summery vibe.
Yeah. A little bit warmer or something.
We can keep it super warm or not. That kind of works. I like that. Okay, let's do that. Let's do a bit more white behind here just to hide how bad these edges are. I'll make it normal.
Non-dissolved.
And then lower this a little bit.
Azhar says he's brand new to Photoshop and is very confused. Well, in Magdiel's intro, he said he basically learned everything on his own. So
Yes,
it just takes time, practice, probably some online videos too, now that there's so many available on YouTube.
Yeah, the biggest thing that you can learn in Photoshop is the layers. Once you understand how the layers work, everything else is your imagination, what you want to do with it.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm happy with this.
Okay. Do you bring your text back in on the top?
I'm gonna have to
Pull that out
I have
of
it
the
here
layer
somewhere,
group,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, pull that out of one of the inceptions. I'll probably have it here. Text, yeah. I'll send that up. Boom.
Cool.
Yeah, so align these to the edge. It's a bit big right now. The 500 one is big. Let's make it smaller. Yeah, we can do something like that. We can add also more text.
Actually, the collar on her now makes it look a little Star Trek-y, like from the 60s or something.
Oh, this?
Yeah.
The color? Yeah.
Many different ways that this image can be titled.
Yeah.
I love that dripping effect, though. That's really good, especially on the hair.
Yeah, it makes it look like it's all coming down, you know, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And since we did it on the other side as well,
Yeah.
it makes it look, you know, realistic.
Yep.
Yeah, so you can add, you know, all the stuff you want to add over here. I usually do 3 on the bottom, do my handle, and do what it's called, and all of that you can do over here. Yeah, we can. What should we name these then?
I don't know. Well,
I'm horrible at spelling, so it better be something easy to spell.
Captain Pantone seemed pretty good.
Oh,
Up to
like
you,
that.
though. Like the color.
Fenton. Any other recommendations on title for these?
I think
Yeah, you see this. I added a curve as well. I didn't talk about it, but I put it right on top of everything.
Oh, okay.
And then I mess with it a little bit, just
Yeah.
a tiny bit. But it gives it, you know, it brings the whole image together.
Yeah.
You know, looking at it after you're done, you almost wish like, oh, I would have put some leaves over here, added more things. But I think for the time that we had, and this is something you also need to learn, is to time yourself. If you know you want to get this done in an hour every day,
Yeah.
if you don't do it in an hour, you're not gonna do it for very long. You
Yeah.
know, if you don't do it in 2 hours,
Yeah.
because you're not gonna have time.
Right, right.
So you need to pace yourself and know, okay, this is good enough. Is it worth it really spending 4 hours more?
Right.
Refining everything to the point where it's perfect?
Yeah.
Or should I just, you know, leave it like this and try to make up it,
Yeah.
you know, to look better than what it actually
Yeah,
is?
time boxing usually helps in my creative process. Just trying to understand, like, make sure I don't get too lost in the details of one little thing. And that
Yeah,
kind of thing.
and it happens also with, you know, client work as well. You can spend so many hours with little things. You got to pick your battles kind of deal, and delegate to other people what they can do better.
Yeah.
And do yourself what
Yeah.
you can do best. You know.
Looks like I caught a couple.
I like Summer Heat.
Summer Heat.
That's cool. Yeah, let's do Summer Heat.
All right.
And it's right there, so I can read it and not misspell it. Still find a way to misspell it though, because I'm horrible at spelling. There it is, Summer
That's
Heat.
good. All right. Get that aligned a little bit.
Yeah, I like that.
All right.
Yeah, we could also add. We have a minute, right?
We got a minute and 30
Yeah.
seconds.
So we could also do. So let's say we wanted to add a little more texture in the back to separate it from the background a little more. A really quick thing that I've done in the past too is like kind of like paint like a mountain with the pen tool.
Yeah.
Again, I'm just going fast. Paint a mountain, select that, and then within that selection, draw another gradient in there. No, so it gives it like a light.
Yeah.
Kind of coming through,
like that.
and then
Ooh.
you can change that to a different color if you want to change it to, you know, color that goes more with the image.
Ooh, that looks
You can
good.
do like a blue or like a pink. Softer pink look
Yeah,
better.
the softer pink looks good.
Yeah, something like that.
Nice.
There you go. I feel like that, you know,
That looks awesome.
gives it an extra step.
Yeah.
You can spend all day here.
Oh,
like,
yeah, for
making
sure.
little tweaks, and you can keep going and going and going about, you know, doing different things. But yeah,
This looks great. It's something
Thank
we were able
you,
to do
thank
in
you.
an
Yeah.
hour and a half, right?
yes.
It's awesome. Well, I guess that's a perfect segue for us to say this is what we've got for day one, and we can jump into the design challenge. So
Yes, let's do it.
if we want to look at that. So the challenge was to create an invitation using blend modes, overlapping blend modes. And so we talked a bit about blend modes today. The theme also is that Photoshop is turning 30 tomorrow. So as
Yeah.
part of the Photoshop team, I've got a
There you
Photoshop
go.
t-shirt on. You can kind of see it.
I need one of
So we
those.
wore these at Max last year as part of our as the Photoshop team when we launched the iPad version and the newest version of desktop.
Okay.
So if you walk around Adobe here today, you'll see a lot of the Photoshop people are wearing some type of Photoshop shirt to note that. But so for this design challenge, we gave I think they gave a couple cues as to what this invitation is supposed to be, and it's going to be an invitation to Photoshop's 30th birthday.
Gotcha.
So we can go through a couple of these. So let's see. Let's stop at. This one's kind of cool.
Yeah, that one's cool.
Yeah. Any thoughts on this?
I like it a lot. I would, when you're using like a scripty font, I don't like doing all caps. I know this is not a scripty, but I think it would look better if it was in all caps,
Okay.
If it was like, cap
Like
B and then
lowercase,
lowercase, the rest lowercase.
Okay.
That's something that when the font has more of a ornamental look, I like seeing, the capitals and then the lowercase look the way it is. I think it would look better.
Okay.
It's not that it's bad. It's a personal preference, and I enjoy it more when it's that way.
Cool.
I really like the the noise. The color,
the grain on it.
How warm these colors are.
I like that. Looks like a piece of paper with the toolbar on top of it. That's kind of cool.
Yes, I do like that a lot too. I enjoy a lot those textures that make things, it looks like tape or like paper.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So they're supposed to put the tools they used?
No, just I think that was just their theme. But it's more use blend modes in some way, and then the 30th birthday theme, just to make an invitation. So
cool.
Go through a couple more. Take a look at. Let's look at this one. This next one here.
Yeah, so a lot going on here. Very creative using the T. The turns.
Oh yeah.
Turns 30.
I see that.
That's cool, and I like the effect also, like very 80s on the.
It is,
on the photo
Which
on the right.
I guess Photoshop was born in the early 90s.
Really?
Yeah. 89.
No, 89.
89. You're right.
I'm 30, so.
What year is it? 2020? 1990.
Yeah.
So 1990.
1990. Yeah, there you go. Man, that's crazy. Yeah. Well, it goes really well with that style, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the 90s styles of the block color and super simple. It's almost transitioning from the 80s to the 90s.
Yeah.
I enjoy that a lot.
All right. Let's take a look at this one. It's got a lot of. See some blend modes in there.
I think some people are asking where they can post this image.
Oh.
For review.
Okay, so sorry, if you're in the Discord app, on the Photoshop site, the current challenge tab here on the left under feedback is where you usually drop your finished designs for us to review.
Yeah.
Maybe Voodoo Val can help out with that. Looks like she's gonna jump in with that. All right, let's look. Oh, I guess you do. They have put the tools in a lot of these, so yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe that's what the tools they've used.
Yeah.
On this one, it looks cool, like having all the elements.
Yeah.
One thing that I would advise people is to always have contrast over everything. And what I mean by that is like we live on an age of like you don't ever see anything big unless you see it big for some special reason.
Yeah.
But most of the work you see it small, you see it on your phone, you see it for 3 seconds. So you want to grab people's eyes for those 3 seconds and not let them go. And when you see it something like this, it's so busy that it's hard to see what the main thing is. And I know over here, obviously the peacock and the 30 is the thing that grabs your eye, but everything else gets lost in a sea of like a lot of different things.
I see.
So maybe if you use half of these and you make the background a solid color, this would have been 20 times better. Like it makes it so much better just to do a little detail of contrast.
Okay, cool. Let's go down a bit more. Oh, this one, I like this one. Look at the old school Photoshop.
I love that, man. Yeah. That brings me back. I started using, I think it's Photoshop 7.
Okay, yeah.
The one with the little eye inside of the...
I think that was maybe 5 or 6, because I started the one right before that when I was in elementary school.
The one that had like a feather, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I used that one too.
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy. Yeah, this brings me back. And I love how the whole thing is like the pixel kind of effect.
Yeah.
I don't know what you would call that one, that effect. Really cool.
Yeah, this is, if you walk around the Adobe headquarters in San Jose, there is an old Mac Macintosh 2C computer that has this running in black and
Oh,
white. You
really?
can play
Oh,
with
man, I would love to try that.
it. Yeah.
Just to be frustrated for a little bit.
Yeah.
'Cause I bet you would want to make so many things like
Yeah.
we do now, and you'll be like, Oh, that's cool. Look at that.
This one.
A little more refined.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Maybe my only critique would be the spacing on the font.
Oh, down here?
Yeah.
Maybe
it
increase
feels.
the tracking a little bit.
Yeah, but it feels too, spacing that you need to give it a little more breathing room.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, look, this person updated their, who's it? Mehulanand? Did
Yeah,
update
but
this a little bit.
Just now?
No, it
Oh.
might have been maybe the
Before.
people
Okay,
iterate,
they
they're like,
keep
oh,
up. Okay,
actually, I
yeah,
have,
see.
yeah. So
Yeah.
a little more clear on this one.
Yeah. A little better. You can read it better.
Yeah. All right, we got another one here with some geometry in it.
Mm-hmm.
I like kind of the overlapping between
Yeah,
the 30 and
that's
Photoshop.
very cool. You see
Yeah.
the shadows there,
Yeah.
pops out.
Yeah.
It looks cool.
Cool.
Yeah, great job.
All right.
Yeah, same thing with that one.
This
It's
guy.
hard to take in everything. You
Find
know?
what you really
And
want to
it's something
emphasize
that
and-
really people that starting to use the softwares, a mistake that they make is try to use all the effects at once, and you shouldn't do that. You should just use one thing
pick a couple. Yeah.
and then use another thing the next day.
Yeah.
You just let them rest for a little bit.
Okay.
Go easy on the effects.
I do like the bokeh effect in the back.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
really cool.
Yeah, and it changes inside the 30.
Yeah.
See, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
We appreciate
oh,
the
yeah, of
details.
course. All right, let's see. We'll go through how much time we have. Another 10 minutes. Oh, I guess oh man, there's so many submissions in this. All right, let's look at this one right
Oh, that's a
here.
Photoshop art, right?
This
With-
one's using the it's using the current splash image.
Yeah.
So now we have a request to use yours for the next splash image.
Oh, yeah. That'll be super cool.
But yeah, you got the old school Photoshop logo here. That's kind of
Oh,
cool.
I see it, like in the
Yeah.
window.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right. Oh, here we go. Someone put it into the envelope.
Oh, nice.
So as if you're opening it.
That's really cool.
So any
I really like
thoughts
this
on
one.
how they did the type on this? Or
Yeah, I like it. I like it a
Yeah.
lot. I mean, it's a lot of the design now, the trends on design are really messy design. You know, a lot of text, a lot of blocks,
yeah.
a lot of stuff going on at the same time. So sometimes it's really hard for like beginners to get it right because you just think, I just throw a bunch of stuff in there, it'll look good.
Yeah.
And it really doesn't. You have to balance it so well. And balance is one of the biggest things with the current trends on design that people get wrong.
Okay.
But this, you know,
Or it just
this-
takes them
this-
a while to really get the
it takes
the
them a
feel of it,
while
right?
to
Yeah.
understand, you know, like, and that's why I always say, like, get back a little bit, squint your eyes a little bit, and if it's messy, it's messy.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
if you can tell what it is, then you'll pick it up right
Yeah.
away.
Okay. Cool. Let's see. We've got there's a giant S.
I think it was what was missing from
Oh,
the
people. I
photos.
guess yeah. People are kind of chatting about. That's good. I like to see the people giving critiques.
Yeah, critiquing each other. That's great.
All right, this is the last one we've got. So similar to, so you got a lot of the hexagons from some of
Yeah,
those
different
songs.
textures, one inside of the other one.
See, they've got the updated tool icons here with the quick select right there.
I see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to step up my game. I was using the old Photoshop
Yeah.
the whole time.
This reminds me, I used to be a materials engineer, and there's this thing called carbon nanotubes. And this reminds me of the structure of those.
It has that texture
yeah,
inside.
yeah. Cool. I think we've hit the end of our submissions for now.
Cool.
So I guess we've got.
Yeah, you want to go back and talk about how, about some of these designs and answer some questions
Yeah.
about
Let's do
how I
that.
did certain things compared to what I've,
So we've
what I
got-
did today.
We can take a look at the chat again.
Yeah. For example, on this one, it's basically the same thing I did today. Adding the flowers, adding shades, shadows inside of the flowers. The cutting of the face is the only thing that's different
Yeah.
from what I did today. But at the same time, it's the same thing because what I did is that I grab the face
Yeah.
and I go with the flow of the face. So
That's actually one of the things I wanted to ask you about was like the face cutting technique. How long does that take you? Is that something you could
Let's go ahead and open this photo again, and maybe we can spend some time doing that.
Okay.
Right now.
Cool.
Maybe if we have the photo cut inside of this.
With the background pulled out already.
Yeah, maybe I can.
It's in one of
I'll
those.
be more useful. And again, don't follow my example on this. Like, try to have it more organized.
Everyone organizes in their own way.
Yes, I do keep it organized as much as possible,
Yeah.
but I'm trying to do this super fast.
I've got some friends who are very, very meticulous about naming their layers. And
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
definitely not.
Well, yeah, I've done that in the past, but
Yeah.
not today. Sorry.
Yeah. Depends on the work too.
Depends on the work and what it is. Yeah. So if we have this image right here, if we wanted to cut these, it would be really simple, and I'll show you what I mean. I'm gonna, because of I don't want to see these. I'm gonna fill this in again, real quick.
Okay.
That works. It's fine. And then with the pen tool, what you want to do is that you want to follow whatever the shape is.
Yeah.
So we'll do it right through the glasses and come across the whole face. It's gonna be a little challenging, but we got this. So, let's start with the glasses. You go down. You're trying to imagine, what it would look like if it's cut, Obviously with the glasses, there's two levels. There's the glasses and the face. But we'll do it like this.
Okay.
Over here, we have the nose. It goes a little bit up again. Cut the glasses. Down into the lenses. Over here, it goes down to the lenses. And then over here, if you truly cut these, the other cut will look like it's down here,
Okay.
You're basically following the face.
Yeah.
Obviously, hair wouldn't cut like this. And I'm just gonna do it just to get an idea.
Right.
And then we have this whole selection, and you can look at it from this perspective already. You can tell, like, if we get rid of that, we'll have the other one on the back.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna edit this real quick before I get rid of it, and then I'm gonna go ahead and copy paste this, and we have a little bit
Nice.
of a cut already going on. Obviously, what you would want to do is add the texture, because you can see here on the bottom it looks pretty good because the glasses are separate from the face.
Right.
Over here it looks really bad on the top.
You got that little edge.
Yeah, so you would literally have to go and fill in what the texture would look like.
Oh, I see.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Inside of each thing, that would take a while. It would look really cool, if you have the glasses texture here, you have like a wood texture inside of that, and then like a glass texture inside of these.
Yeah.
But you can spend so much time doing that.
Right.
So right now what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna do a general kind of selection. It's gonna look really bad, but just so you can see.
Oh yeah, to catch the round of the head.
Yeah.
So it's
to
just
catch the round of the head. This layer will go on top. You see, boom, already right there.
Nice.
You have something that is looking pretty good.
Yeah.
And you can give it a color, and within that color, you have to add shadow to it. So you basically
just brush on the layer, on the clip.
Brush on the clip, and it'll bring it all the way. One thing you might want to do is fix this. Obviously, the glasses thing that I talked about before, that does look weird there. Something else that you might want to do is going here and with an iPad or something like that, draw all the hair.
Oh.
So it looks like it's coming out of actually the.
Oh, okay. Those little details.
A lot of details that would make it great if you're really trying to do these and make it look fantastic.
Yeah.
But already you can tell it's looking pretty cool. You add a color background to this, and you're not done, but
yeah. It's a nice quick review of that, because that was one of the first things about your work that stood out to me when I was looking. Like, oh wow, the way that
the cutting,
cuts out faces,
yeah.
And
So you can play with this, spend so much time making it look amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what that looks like.
Cool.
Yeah.
So go back to your portfolio and just talk a bit about some more of your other work.
Yeah, some other thing. Yeah, so that's how you do that. You can put flowers in there. You can do whatever you want. That's kind of like how this is done. With a bit of imagination, you can just make it your own, you know? And that's something that I was talking to Paul about. It's like, it's so much harder to copy somebody's work than to just do your own. Because when you're doing your own, you're just having fun. When you're copying somebody, I would only copy work if you're learning. If you're learning, feel free to copy all you want until you get a grasp of what the software feels like and what the idea is. And then you start playing with it, making it your own. Even if you directly copy things that you see, you got to learn how to copy, you know? You don't, you know, you can feel inspired by the style, maybe by the colors. But if you combine all these things, you're going to be copying exactly what you saw, you know? But if you grab the colors from here and maybe the style from here, or maybe a mixture of two styles that you really enjoy, then you would come up with something truly unique to you. Because we're only the collective thing that we see. So if you see too many people that do too many wonderful things, you're gonna be able to create them yourself. If that makes sense. You know, more of the same. You can tell here I spent a little more time with the flowers. You see this, like the melting effect. I put a lot of flowers on this one.
Those are all different stock photos of flowers you just brought in together.
Yeah, well, the photo already had these kind of dry flowers,
I see.
Leaves. And then I added all of the flowers. So all of the flowers I added, and I did the circles, erased the face, and then with this pen tool right here, did these strokes, added the. So you see, once you know kind of how to do it, it's really not. There's nothing special about the actual process, or the actual tools that you're using. Here's the time lapse of that.
Oh, nice.
And what becomes special is the end product, right? And what you can imagine to do. So over here, I looked for a lot of flowers, you know, cutting them out, putting them in.
So you use Adobe Stock a lot to find a lot of these.
Yeah, I use a lot of Adobe Stock. I also have a Getty Images account, which is kind of the same thing that we use for work. Over here, I had to paint. You can see, like, I painted outside.
Okay. You using your mouse for most of this, or a tablet or anything?
But I used the computer on that one.
The trackpad.
Yeah. Because I have a big PC that I use at the office. But in the office, I'm doing mostly like other work. So when I do the posters, I usually go to a coffee place or I sit on my couch while we watch a movie and I do it. You know. So most of the time, I do it on my trackpad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, just the trackpad on the laptop.
Yeah, right here. Yeah, just like this. Yeah, because I do it from sitting on the couch and all that. This is a cool effect too that we could have done today. I forgot. It's like painting all these dots and then distorting it to creating. I think I don't even end up using it here, but
so what do you do?
I did it for a while.
You make dots with gradients and then you
do dots of a lot of different colors, creating contrast, and then you distort them and then you create like that. You see a lot of dots, and then you go into with the Smudge tool or with the liquify, and then you create
like a
this
tie-dye
color.
thing, right?
Yeah. And I want to do it like, like it's flowing from it, and sometimes it looks better than other times. But yeah, it's kind of the same thing, over and over. It's using your imagination to create something new. But the essential tools that I use are always like the brush tool and the pen tool, and even on something like this, same thing.
Oh wow.
You can see.
I like the flower effect on the bottom.
So
the dress.
So I selected the dress, and then did these flowers inside, and then I wanted to make it look like it's coming out. So at the end, I added a bee over here. Small details that really nobody ever sees. But I enjoy doing it, And if you're doing it because you enjoy it, then you will always have fun, So same thing here, using a lot of pen tool, as you can tell. I like to think of it as a mixture of, cool like illustration and photography editing. Same thing with this one. I did the cutting effect.
Oh, nice.
Spent a lot of time, making the flowers look realistic and making them look like they belong in the space.
How long do you think this took you from start to finish, this one?
Probably 2 hours, but I knew what I was doing. You know,
Like you knew exactly what you wanted to create.
Yeah, like right now, like we're talking, and I'm trying
Right.
I'm trying to make something and try to show a lot of different effects in one time. But over here, I knew exactly what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
This was for a client, so
Okay.
you know, and it was in the works, so I knew what it was. I knew what what they wanted, so I went right ahead and did it. It's like a Jamaican campaign. So this is the flower of Jamaica, like the national flower.
Okay.
And the colors and all of that,
Yeah.
you know, mimicking, not too much like Jamaican, like classic, like
the red,
like
green,
black,
black.
yeah. But they wanted something
Or
that
yellow,
represents
green, black.
Jamaica without having the classic Jamaican.
Oh
stuff.
yeah, no, I like that. That's cool.
So that's that. Over here, I keep asking you for the time.
Oh,
I don't know if we can see it somewhere.
10 minutes, just.
Oh, over
till
here.
2, yeah.
Perfect. And this one.
Oh, 5 minutes. Sorry.
Perfect.
Yeah.
On this one, same thing. Like, so I inverted it, and then I went into the curves like we did today, and I altered the colors
Oh, you
a lot.
pull out those. Okay.
Yeah, and then I play with it, and I erased the hair, added red to it, pen tool these, add some gradients in here,
Nice.
Pen tool the whole shirt.
Okay, yeah, just to make it a flat surface. Yeah.
Yes, so basically that's what this is, adding some big text in the background. Yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else that people might want it.
Well, we got 2 more days, so we can.
Okay, yeah.
I guess we can wrap this up for today. So a couple things I want to highlight. Tomorrow's design challenge is, let me pull that back up. So tomorrow's design challenge is to design a book cover with a realistic embossed effect using layer effects. So you can see that on Behance. It should pop up, I think, tomorrow. So today we were able to contribute to your 500 plus one poster a day images, creating, what did we call it? Summer Heat?
Summer Heat.
Summer Heat.
Summer Heat.
Which was really fun, really cool to see.
That's a fun name too.
Yeah, your mastery of the pen tool. Cool. Yeah, so I guess wrapping up, come back tomorrow. We'll be here again, and we'll be here again on Thursday doing another poster, helping to celebrate Photoshop's 30th birthday, which I'm excited about, but also just to show the great work that in your process and what goes through your head as you create these things. That people seem to love, especially, well, like I said, your use of the pen tool, the dripping, all the different colors. So we'll have more of that tomorrow, and we'll go through, do some more of the design view as well. And yeah,
thank you for having me.
Thank you.
This is great. Thank you for tuning in.
Thanks everyone for coming and chatting with us and watching, and those that are watching on replay, we hope you really enjoyed to see Magdiel's process and come back to see some more in the next few streams.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Yep.